whoa, 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 whoa. Don't you stand by me. Oh, camera's on there. Okay then. Uh, Good morning. How's everybody doing?
We change the world in history right here where we're from. It's new beginnings to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done.
Okay. Now that's not supposed to go off like that. For some reason, it just goes off like that. For some reason, I don't have a clue why. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, good morning. Hope this day finds everybody well. 7:06 in the morning, and of course now it's time for our daily bread because that's what we do around here. Okay, that's what we do. We just do that kind of thing. Anyway, got an interest. Hopefully, we got an interesting conversation going on this morning, and we're going to talk a little bit about the main subject of Montgomery right now, and that's crime. Josh Moon, as a matter of fact, wrote an article, which I really don't normally read his articles, but I must admit, even a broke clock is right twice a day. So I kind of looked at his article, and we're going to discuss that today. Some of the things, some of the suggestions that he has, and things of that nature. There's a couple parts of it I take exception to, but for the most part, uh, he's he seems to have well the gist of the problem. So we'll talk about that, and I sent Josh a letter, a note last night, and see if he'll join us today via the virtual studio and talk about his solution to Montgomery's crime problem. But he has the same solution that often people have uh, in that part of the political spectrum, and it it lends itself to more problems. Okay, so is a temporary solution better than no solution at all? Well, I don't know. If I'm hungry and you feed me one meal, but I got 6 more days to go, did you help me? I don't know. Well, you helped me for a day. You helped me for a day. Anyway, next up, it is our daily bread. Okay, and again, it is, believe it or not, it is the 15th day of October, 2025. It is a day that's never been, and it is a day, believe me, will ever be again. It is a once in a lifetime deal, and once it's gone, you don't get a do over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should have done this day that you do not. And you certainly don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. So whatever it is that you do with this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done on this day. Then Elijah May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say that is the standard by which you live life, you'll always be successful. Or you'll fail at a thing or two, we all do. But you'll never be a failure until you quit. We say give out if you must, rest if you can, but you never quit, because quitters will never win. And winners, oh, they may fail at a thing or two, but they never quit. Next up, it is our daily bread. Good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well and healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Thankful for life and the love we share.
God's truth tastes sweet like honey. Hi again, and welcome to another daily encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's reading was written by Kirsten Holmberg, and it's titled Truth, Bitter or Sweet? I'd had the spot on my nose for the better part of a year when I went to the doctor. The biopsy results came back days later with words I didn't want to hear: skin cancer. Though the cancer was operable and not life-threatening, it was a bitter pill to swallow. God commanded Ezekiel to swallow a bitter pill, a scroll containing words of lament and woe. God instructs him in chapter 3 to fill his stomach with it and share the words with the people of Israel, whom God considered obstinate and stubborn. One would expect a scroll filled with correction to taste like a bitter pill, yet Ezekiel describes it being as sweet as honey in his mouth. Ezekiel seems to have acquired a taste for God's correction. Instead of viewing his rebuke as something to avoid, Ezekiel recognized that what is good for the soul is sweet. God instructs and corrects us with loving kindness, helping us live in a way that honors and pleases him. Some truths are bitter pills to swallow, while others taste sweet. If we remember how much God loves us, his truth will taste more like honey. His words are given to us for our good, providing wisdom and strength to forgive others, refrain from gossip, and bear up under mistreatment. Help us, God, to recognize your wisdom as the sweet counsel it truly is. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 4 through chapter 3, verse 3. The people to whom I am sending you are obstinate and stubborn. Say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says, and whether they listen or fail to listen, for they are a rebellious people, they will know that a prophet has been among them. And you, son of man, do not be afraid of them or their words. Do not be afraid, though briars and thorns are all around you and you live amongst scorpions. Do not be afraid of what they say or be terrified by them, though they are a rebellious people. You must speak my words to them, whether they listen or fail to listen, for they are rebellious. But you, son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not rebel like that rebellious people. Open your mouth and eat what I give you. Then I looked and saw a hand stretched out to me. It was a scroll, which he unrolled before me. On both sides of it were written words of lament and mourning and woe. And he said to me, Son of man, eat what is before you. Eat this scroll, then go and speak to the people of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he gave me the scroll to eat. Then he said to me, Son of man, eat this scroll I am giving you, and fill your stomach with it. So I ate it, and it tasted as sweet as honey in my mouth. Let's pray. Father God, thank you for the wisdom you have given us in the scriptures. Help us to hear you speaking to us through them, that we may apply what we read wisely and follow you faithfully. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Shout, counter marching all about, and those caissons go rolling along. For it's high, high in the field artillery.
Well, we like to call them jarheads and all kind of names, but they only go by one name: U.S. Marines. Hoorah! I think the Air Force and the Army. That Marine uniform, let's go. Alrighty then. Okay, we got enough of that. We got enough of that one. We love it. There we go. Okay, that's enough. We had enough of that. We good. We good. We love our service members, but enough is enough. What she used to say, enough is a feast, or feast is enough, or something like that. That's one of them Jamaican terms. I don't exactly know what it means, but I think I got the gist of it. Enough is a feast. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, so that's enough. Our armed forces. Anyway, good morning to the folks in Maxwell and Gunner Air Force Base out there. After all, this is a Air Force town, but we do have the Alabama National Guard out there on Coliseum, on Federal Drive, and all the places out there. So we celebrate everybody, regardless of your branch of service. But we like you all. Okay, there's some of you we don't like sometimes, but other than that, though, yeah. But we like you. Anyway, good morning to you. Now, my phone, I think it's okay. I got a solution for this one way or the other. I think the phone is actually working. Well, the phone's always been working. It is just that hearing the callers. But I got that second number today, so if that don't work for some reason, we good to go because I fixed that last night. Whew. See, one thing about technology is that it's always changing. And to some of you people, as of yesterday, Windows 10 officially is not being supported anymore. Now, you can buy a packet that will allow you to get some support for a little while longer, but it runs you $61. But you just go to Microsoft.com. And I like Windows 10. I'm using 11, and 12 is coming out soon. But some of your computers, if they're kind of old, some of your computers are not going to handle Windows 11. And if you're using Windows 7 or Windows 8, well, you're already losing. I mean, it's over already for you. Okay. So anyway, you might want to think about looking at your computer, or you can call me anytime when I'm off the air, since I'm like a professional learner of computers. But I do got a business. I mean, I've been doing it for a while. So you can just call the commuter, and we'll tell you what you got. Or you can call my friends at Montgomery Computer Services, and they will help you out. That's my former airborne ranger friend. Him and I were in the same unit in the Army. So I will admit, though, he's got the tab. I don't have the tab, but hey, I was still one of the fellas. But anyway, that's Alabama. So if you got a computer problem and you want to go somewhere, Alabama Computer Associate, not Alabama Computer. That's who I used to work for, Commander Murchison. It's Montgomery Computer Services. Okay, so let me see. Let me see. Put this on the right way, and I'll get back to you guys in a second, because it's 334-277-6902. Okay, and ask for ask for Crystal, Crystal, or whoever answers the telephone. Okay, so anyway, do that if you got a problem. If you can't wait, but listen, don't get caught in a situation like a lot of people have gotten caught in this technology thing here. You hold on to old software for a long time, and you're going to end up paying a whole lot more money, because it's going to cost more to make your old software work with new stuff than it is for you to buy the new software. Update your software. I mean, it is what it is. Most of us won't keep a car for 15 years. And we got people out here keeping computers for 15 years, and technology is rolling along, rolling along, rolling along. So I'm just telling you now, as of yesterday, Montgomery, Montgomery, I mean, excuse me, not Montgomery, Windows 10 is not being serviced or supported unless you buy a temporary piece of software from Microsoft. So, and what does that mean? That means you'll probably have a hard time in the next couple of weeks getting into your um, banking account if you're going to use Windows 10. It's not secure enough to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. So you might want to just think about upgrading your computer, or at least upgrading your software. But bear in mind, all computers will not take Windows 11. Okay, and you got to go to Windows 11. All computers won't. So if you got a computer that's 10 years old, 12 years old, blah, 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 it's not going to work. Okay, so I know Christmas is coming up. So, if you can wait, get your new computer around Christmas. And they're not that expensive today. Okay, they're a lot cheaper. You don't have to have the high and mighty computers and things of that nature, but you are going to need to. I'm warning you. You are going to need to upgrade your computer. If your computer will do it, you have to get out of 10 and go to 11 at a minimum of Windows 11. However, if your computer won't take 11, then it's time for a new computer. Okay, I mean that's just where it is. Okay, you have to give it up. Feel free to call me and ask me any questions, or you can call the number on the screen. My friends at Montgomery Computer Services, 277-6902, and ask for Crystal or whoever answers the phone out there. But you'll be all right. Okay, so call the guys down there. But as of yesterday, so if you go to get on your bank account in the next couple of days, the next week or so, and you can't get there, that's because your operating system is out of date. So, good morning. How's everybody doing? Okay, I'm getting you that for free. Normally, I charge for that kind of information. Good morning. Yesterday, someone sent me an article, and I don't normally read Josh Moon stuff. Right? It is such. I mean, by the time you get done reading it, you need a handkerchief. You need to blow your nose, tears running down your eyes, and all kind of things. Okay, so, however, even Josh Moon is right sometimes. But I don't know if this is right, wrong, or is just his opinion. But I do think the issue of crime in the city of Montgomery, we talk about it. We talk about it. A lot of people don't have solutions for it, but we talk about it. I mean, talking about it's good. Here's a question I have to ask most of you this morning. Do you think and I'm only asking the question, do you believe that the overabundance of crime in our major cities perpetuates racism? Okay. So, and that's only because the preponderance, and I'm gonna go along with some of my liberal friends, the preponderance of the crime, it seems, at least the crime that is reported in the streets, is done by Black males. Not all, but the preponderance of it. Do we always think about race and stuff, especially in Alabama, because of the crime? If we didn't have so much crime, and that crime always centered around, just not in Montgomery, but this nation, centered around young Black males who are daddyless. Do you think the race relationships in Montgomery, other parts of the country, would be a lot better? I do. I think if we could get a handle on this, the issue of race wouldn't come up as much as it does. But I must admit to you, every time you turn on the TV, and those two guys, those two young men whose lives are ruined forever. At least we know one of them is ruined forever, and one we won't show his face and all that stuff. And then there is a a video on Facebook. This guy explains the connection between, and I'll see if I can find it. But this guy explains the connection between just about both of them and other crimes. So if we can get crime under control, okay, would that help our relationships in our cities and towns? You know, I really believe so, and that means that if daddies would start taking a serious look at their kids, okay, and I hear you. Yeah, I get. Listen, I hear you. I'm hearing you. We unfortunately, and I'm not being flippant about this. Unfortunately, we really can't undo what was done. The best we can do is try our best to make sure that it doesn't happen again. That's I mean that's what we can do. Um, uh, and it's a shame. It really is. Um, but you know, we can't do anything about it. But we can certainly do something about uh, hopefully, at least in some small way, do something about the future. Okay, we can, and that's what gets me sometimes. We're so caught up in the past until we can't move forward. And so that's a whole different thing right there. But anyway, what about the fourth? Trust me, we are saddened by that. I mean, we are. I'm still ticked off about the young lady named Dix who going down the street ends up paralyzed just because she's riding down the road. She happens to be in the right place at the wrong time or the wrong place at the right time. Or no, but actually she wasn't. She was going down a public street. Public. I mean, bam. And next thing you know, you end up in the hospital because some people have no regard for law and order or their own self or their own lives. And but Josh has written a and listen, I'm not saying we blame everything on Reed because his kids are not doing the killing. You're absolutely right, but that does not take the blame, take the accountability. Who's ever in that chair has to accept the accountability for it. As a matter of fact, Todd had some murders on his watch. Bobby Bright had some, and we're going to get to that in a second. Everybody, we're not blaming the mayor, but they are accountable to the people of this city, like that idiot in Chicago is accountable to the people for what's going on up there, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. Those chairs, we call you Mr. Mayor, we call you Mr. President, we call you Mr. City Councilman, we call you all of these names because they come with some accountability, and that accountability is to us, the citizens of the city. They are paid to make sure that the environment is conducive to posterity and prosperity. Okay, that's. I mean, me personally, I don't need city council. I don't need a mayor. I don't need them. But yet there has to be somebody to lead the flock. And we put these people in charge. So let's not make excuses when things go bad on their watch that they are responsible to us. They're not responsible for the crime because hell, then we might as well just sit home and get our own guns set in the window and watch our own homes and don't worry about it. Okay. I'm just saying, yeah. I'm not letting them off the hook. We got 9 city councilmen. We have a mayor. We got a governor. We got a county commission. We got all of these people who are accountable to us. Okay. Nobody else. Okay. Exactly. Absolutely right. They don't mind taking credit when things are good. Okay. And we don't need you passing the buck when things are bad. I totally agree with you. It's a funny thing. when the crime rate when the crime what I think is it when the crime statistics come down and it's good, we on TV. Yeah, crime's going down 38%. Okay, well, get on TV when crime goes up 38%. Okay, I'm just saying you don't get the good without the bad, and we shouldn't heap the bad without mentioning some of the good. I agree with you, but we're I mean it's it blaming the mayor, trying to hold him accountable through Democrats who don't know what that means, and a lot of folks don't know what it means, but they are. But they are accountable to us. They need to come up with some answers. But let's get back to this article by and if you go to the alreporter.com, you can find this article, but I'm going to share with you because I think it gives a different perspective on crime that I've ever had. And it is an opinion piece, and it was written October the 7th, and we're going to discuss this probably for the rest of the show. Opinion. There is a solution to Montgomery's crime problem. The solution to Montgomery's crime problem, or to any city's crime problem, is usually pretty easy to identify and very hard to find the will to solve it. Now, in that last statement, he seems to insinuate that we don't want to solve the crime. Um, okay, I disagree with that, but we'll see. Everyone has an opinion on Montgomery's crime problem. The thugs are out of control, they say. City leaders must do more, they say. That black mayor needs to get his people under control, they say. The judges and cops need to stop coddling criminals and keep them locked up, they say. It will never be anything less than endlessly annoying listening to the people who broke Montgomery attempt to explain, okay, to those trying to fix it how they're screwing up. I don't listen. I don't necessarily disagree. Listen, I don't necessarily disagree with that. But let's keep going. Okay. Again, he says the thugs are out of control. They say city leaders must do more. They say this is from Josh Moon. That black mayor needs to get his people. They say the judges and cops need to stop coddling criminals and keep them locked up. They say. And he goes on to say that it will never be anything less than endlessly annoying listening to the very people who broke Montgomery attempt to explain to those trying to fix it how they're screwing up. Here's the reality that no one wants to talk about Montgomery. Montgomery has been broken for years. Murders have increased fairly steadily under Todd Strange. They increased under Bobby Bright and under Emery Farmer. All of them, along with the current mayor, Stephen Reed, have experienced steady increase and random sharp spikes. Strange spike came in 2013 when the city had its highest number, 50. And in 33 years, Bright came in 2007. Reed came in during the pandemic when homicides spiked across the country. Following a relatively calm year in 2019, there was a staggering 68 homicides in Montgomery in 2020. And even more staggering, 77 in 2021. Those numbers have declined slightly over the past 2 years. So, there's an underlying problem. It's been festering and growing for decades now. Okay. So, what is the problem? Okay. What is the problem? We're gonna continue to, and this is an article by Josh Moon. Okay. Josh Moon um is a good lib, um good liberal. I like him. You know, I don't agree with him all the time, but okay. Yeah. Well, give me a yeah. Give me a commo check there, bud, so we make sure because I gotta know which number to I gotta know which number to use this morning. Anyway, he said so. There's an underlying problem that's been festering and growing for decades now. A child that was born in the 1990s or the early 2000s in Montgomery went to school in one of the most segregated school systems in America. Now, bear in mind, it's not segregated, but okay. The child attended classes in traditional public schools that were missing peers from the city's most financially stable families. They were in one of the local segregation academies. Also, without their academically capable peers, they were in the legally segregated magnet schools. Now, the problem I have with his statement here is that so you're telling me unless the people who are in private schools whose parents decided that they would take them out and put them someplace else out of the public school, that our children need them to learn. I mean, that's a bunch of Bravo Sierra. Okay. And segregation. Well, listen, people have a right to the Constitution gives people that right to free association. Um, and here's what I have to ask Mr. Moon. Then why did people leave the school? And listen, the race argument just doesn't hold water because there are black folks leaving the schools, Josh. That they're leaving the schools not because of somebody's color, but because of a culture that has been festering since the 1990s, since rap music came out. That's why. Again, let me read that again. A child born in the 1990s, in the early 2000s in Montgomery, went to school in one of the most segregated school systems in America. Okay, first of all, that's intellectually dishonest. The schools are not segregated. And now they may be segregated by culture, by neighborhood, but not there is no inability to go to any school you want to go as long as you live in the district. That child attended classes at traditional public schools that were missing peers from the city's most financially stable families. They were in one of the local segregation academies. And also, without their academically capable peers, they were in illegally segregated magnet schools. Many of those children were born into families that had suffered from extreme generational poverty. Again, it's cry me a river. Much of it born out of Jim Crow laws and systemic discrimination and regressive tax system. What's that got to do with Johnny showing up for school? But we keep going. The rest, often due to various crimes, with well-documented history of the state locking up and keeping locked up the state's poorest citizens. I don't argue with that, but I'm still trying to get to the point. I'm still trying to get to the point where some of this has got something to do with little Johnny going to school and learning. At the same time, city officials were slowly taking away all the guardrails that might otherwise steer an at-risk kid down a productive path. They closed the local community centers, taking away neighborhood safe havens that provided for a spot for kids to get tutoring, to play sports, and to interact with authority figures, including cops. Neighborhood cops would routinely show up to the centers to play basketball with the kids. I don't remember that, but okay. He says, on top of that, the city ended its support for middle school athletic programs, leading to drastic cuts of those programs and laid off coaches who had been essentially surrogate parents for too many of the local kids. They drove them home after practice, made sure they got something to eat. Okay, let me see if this works. Let me see. Hello? Well, I can hear you. The question is, can the folks hear you? Yeah. If not, I'll let you go. Mhm. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Oh, he said, oh, it said nobody. Okay, hey, nobody here. So do me a favor. Call my other number. Yeah, it's 578. Yeah, I got it louder now. It's going to be easier to hear. 578 2708. 2708. 2708. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Call that number. 2708. Yeah. Yeah, because I got this. So I'm hearing y'all good in this thing. I think when I came in this morning, in order to make things right, I kind of screwed it up a little bit, but that's okay. I got this going on. Okay, and let me start again. He said, let me see. All right, go ahead.
Let's try this. I heard the other callers yesterday calling this line, but it was very faint, so I don't know if you can turn up the volume. Talk about murders. And I think how to phrase it. We understand that COVID was it was an outlier. There were circumstances that happened that were unique in history, but COVID is over now.
Okay.
So we have to look at what's happened. We compare what happened before COVID, and we can compare what's happening now after COVID. We can subtract the weird COVID numbers. Would you agree?
Yeah, somewhat.
There is no denying that murders are off the chain in Montgomery now. So much more than ever happened in Montgomery in the past. And the question has become why.
Well, I think he's trying to explain why. I think Josh is trying to explain why the murders and the things are happening like it never has before.
I do believe primarily, number one, if we look at the rate of murders in Montgomery, and we look at who is doing these murders, would you agree is predominantly young black male?
I would agree. And the question is why is that?
Why is that subculture committing all these murders? And I think predominantly the reason is there's not a mother and a father in the household. You know, you had your caller a day or two ago, and he was going on about being available for events in a young man's life, maybe going to a football game, maybe going to graduation, maybe all these other significant events. And I agree, that is important. But that does not replace a father being in the house every day with that wife, the husband and wife being there together to raise the child.
Okay. But since we are where we are, okay, since we are, and I don't know if listen, divorces have been happening since the beginning of mankind, and we still haven't had this kind of activity. So it's got to be more. It's got to be involvement, not just be in the house. Because people in the military are gone for years. Okay, gone for years, sometimes overseas, and guess what? Their kids don't run around killing people. So it's
Kevin, let me say, it sounds like you're in the web. I don't know if it's your microphone or something like that. But we have to agree. I agree. It's not just being in the house. It's being involved in the child, a young girl or a young boy's life daily, interacting with their wife, raising the child together. And nothing can replace a young boy or a young girl waking up and the mother and father and the son and the daughter eating breakfast together, eating dinner together, reading the Bible together. It's not just a matter of being in the house, it's being involved in that child's life. And I hate to say it, and this is not a detriment to any single mother out there. Usually single mothers are out there busting their ass trying to provide the best that they can for their children. But so many times this single mother is working 2 or 3 jobs trying to make ends meet. And so there is a void from a parental standpoint, again, because the mother's doing all she can. And so where does a young male child, predominantly black in Montgomery, Alabama is 77% black. There is a single parent household. His mother was absent because she was trying to earn money to feed him and maybe his siblings. And so because she was away, not to any fault of her own, so he turned to the street.
Yeah, but I think we know I mean, most of us know the consequences of the times, but what we're trying to figure out is what to do about it.
Well, like you said, anybody can be a father, but we don't need fathers. We need daddy.
Exactly. Everybody's got a father.
And so I think that's the overwhelming problem in Montgomery, Alabama. The daddies are absent. Yeah. And it can be an absent white daddy, black daddy, Mexican daddy, Asian daddy, whatever the case may be. But there is no daddy in the home with the wife together raising the child. And so the child turns to the main influence in their life because the other parent is trying to make ends meet.
Yeah, I think most of us, we know that. Yeah, we know that. The question is, what do we do about it?
Nothing can replace a mother and father in the house, a mommy and a daddy. And that's why it's going to be a generational issue, because until society goes back, especially in Montgomery, Alabama, because again, 77% of city of Montgomery are blacks. Until there is a black mommy and a black daddy in the house working together to raise their children, the streets are going to be the mommy or daddy. And the streets are not a good way of raising a child.
Yeah. I appreciate it. And I don't think anybody disagrees with that. The question is, we are where we are. Now that I got cancer, don't keep telling me that I got cancer. Tell me how to fix it, But let me go back to his thing here. He said, on top of that, the city ended its support for middle school. And I'll put that other my other number up there. Man, I thought I had this thing taken care of already. Okay, my bad. I'm okay. Hey, listen, we're gonna get this, okay? He says, on top of that, the city ended its support of middle school athletic programs, leading to drastic cuts of those programs and the layoff of coaches who have been essentially surrogate parents to many of the local kids. They drove them home after practice, made sure they got something to eat, kept them from hanging out with the wrong crowd, and dished out discipline when needed. Poof, gone overnight. Not quite that easy, but okay. At the same time, all of the support was taken away. You know what was provided in staggering numbers. According to Josh Moon, it was guns. Now I don't know who provided the guns, but okay. Now Josh is a good liberal, a good Democrat. Okay, and there's a philosophy here that is intrinsic in the philosophy of most Democrats that I'm absolutely against. But I'll tell you what that, and you will probably you for the people who are able to discern it, I'm pretty sure they hear it. He says, "I'll never forget going to report on a murder that happened in Montgomery housing projects one day. A lady there, in an effort to demonstrate the prevalence of guns in her neighborhood, took some money from me. I think it was like $20, and walked down the street. She returned a short time later with a gun, a .38 caliber revolver, and handed it to me." Okay, where the gun at? It's hard for me to believe that, but listen, where's the gun at? I handed it to a nearby cop and told him the story. He said she probably got change back. Really? I didn't know you could buy, because if you can buy a gun that cheap, $20. Really? You can buy a gun for $20 now? You want to know why there's a shooting in downtown Montgomery on Saturday night? It's because for a few generations now, we pretended that there would be no consequences for disregarding, shoving aside, forgetting about, ignoring a whole bunch of kids. We failed them. That's right, we, in every way possible. Their parents failed them. Society failed them. The schools failed them. The safety net failed them. Elected officials failed them. Friends and neighbors failed them. And in the midst of all of that failing, as they were continually disappointed by everyone around them, they came to believe that their lives were worth exactly what everyone showed them they were, which was zilch. I disagree with that statement, but okay. Left with all of that emptiness, they turned to the only people who showed interest in them, who offered them a sort of love. They turned to gangs, to other kids hurting, to awful adults, to what seemed like the easiest pathway of all things they needed and never received. In place of algebra and chemistry, they learned violence and anger. They learned how to do whatever it took to make money, earn street respect, and stay alive. And we made accessing the tools to live that sort of life incredibly easy to get. Okay. The irony of it all is that the gun companies and politicians used the fear of these kids as their marketing tool to sell weapons that are creating havoc on our downtown streets. Now, last time I checked, Josh, we've had guns for, my Lord, forever. And we didn't have we came to high school. I know you probably don't remember. We came to high school with gun racks, and the kids came to high school with gun racks in their trucks. 17-year-old kids with gun racks in the truck. We wasn't shooting each other in schools. Okay. And again, his solution, there's a connection here to his philosophy, and I'll explain that to you as we finish. But besides the point, because it's not guns that caused the shooting. All right. So why are you blaming on guns? It wasn't the alcohol, although I'm with you, we need to get rid of some. It wasn't the alcohol. It wasn't the black mayor's fault. It wasn't a woke society. It wasn't the coddling of criminals. It wasn't a Ferris wheel. It wasn't too few police officers. It was failing those kids and then failing their kids. Okay? Because no one loved and valued children randomly, because no loved and valued child randomly sprays bullets into an otherwise peaceful crowd of people with cops standing nearby. It just doesn't happen. If you ever hope to fix the problem, to restore that safety, so that many politicians are talking about in their insincere messages, then you have to stop failing. You have to stop pretending that you played no role in this. And I do believe that he's not wrong about this. We all have a part to play in the society in which we live in today, but not for the same reason, he thinks. That your policies and indifference and hatefulness and judgment and racism is just plain simple mistakes aren't also responsible for this. You're not going to be able to tough guy your way out of this. You can't lock up enough criminals. You can't put troops on the streets and think that will solve it. You have a whole bunch of young people who don't care about their lives or anybody else's because no one has ever cared about them. And so that's Josh's. That is Josh's, and it's in the Alabama Reporter. And again, listen, it's I mean, make you want to cry tears. It makes you want to cry tears. I will tell you this. I think the overabundance of crime in our communities uh, uh, doesn't help the conversation about race in this city all the time, because we got too many people. We have too many people out here that look like me, that are doing these crimes. Where him and I part ways, as whose responsibility is it? You see, Josh has the same thing that most Democrats have. They think the government is responsible for taking care of somebody's kids after school. They're not. There's only one source of supervision that is missing. And until we start holding parents responsible for the actions of their children, this is not going to change. And everything this guy wrote, it's about the government. The government this, the government that, the community center. Well, guess what? Your house is a community center. Okay? And your community is called your family. And they need to help you deal with your issues. But we always want the government. I'm like Ronald Reagan. The worst thing you can hear is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. I mean, that just, it is what it is. And so, Josh, I think his heart is in the right place. But listen, you can't scream racism in a town that's 7% black. And the question again, why did so many people leave the public schools? Now, I know in 1954 in Brown versus Education, I realized that at that particular time in America, I realized that there were some misguided white people. There absolutely were, who for some reason thought they were more intelligent than black people, and they didn't want to, it was what it was. I never deny what happened in the past, but I do think that we don't need to use it as an albatross around the neck of even our own kids. We've taken the albatross off our neck and put it on their neck. Okay, we put it on their neck because nothing is their fault. They're not really, at 17, 15 years old, you know the difference between right and wrong. You know the difference. I mean, and we know the difference between right and wrong. Hell, we know before 17 the difference between right and wrong. But what happened, Josh? What happened? People are trying to discipline their kids. Next thing you know, they down. And I know a guy who the police about 10 years ago, police show up at his job and put him in handcuffs because the mommy called down, or the child called down and said, my daddy hit me. So he goes to school, that school that you're talking about, with a little whelp on his arm, and they arrested the man. They arrested the daddy. A couple years ago, a principal, a young man, and I think it's Jeff Davis School. Jeff Davis, a principal, I think it was a principal, a former United States Marine, E8, tried to stop kids from fighting. He pulled one off the other, and he ended up going downtown. Because the same liberal people like you who think the government's is responsible for every nook and crook in our lives, that same government has impeded the process of discipline of our kids. They have given the kids more rights than they give the parents. Okay, I mean, let's be honest here now. Let's be honest. That's what's going on, and so some parents said, "The hell with it." They said, "The hell with it." You know, if I can't discipline them, we might as well give them to you. You know, last night, guy told me he went to court one day, and the judge says, you know, these are my women and my kids, and so the next time his kid got in trouble, the judge said, sent a word to his father. We said, you said he was yours, and if he's yours, then you take care of him. I don't blame the brother. Okay, he had went to court a couple of times with his child, and the judge said, you know, these are my kids. Okay. So the next time his child got in trouble, he just let him. He didn't even go down there. He said, let your daddy down there take care of you. Okay. So that same government that you seem to be blaming this current environment in, it's the same government that is partially responsible for where we are. You can, like I've always said, you cannot change nature. What you can do is mess with it, but nature always wins. If you raise your child and with no discipline, he will never be disciplined. He will become a scourge on society, either now or in the near future. He will cause us to build $1 billion prisons. He'll cause streets to be unsafe, where these kids would do almost anything. I mean, listen, you cannot mess with nature. It will mess with you back. You can't let kids go around doing anything. And please, Josh, the government is not our daddy. Okay. Now, what I wish the government would do is start holding find out who some of these men are that have produced these children and failed to do their due diligence to stay involved in their life. And we're going to blame the women also. We're going to blame the women. They are 50% of the problem. They picked the man, and the man picked them. So they're responsible. Stop looking at a man as nothing but a check, and then you can kind of decide if that's the kind of guy you want to be with. Okay, but the women are 50% of the problem too. And Lord, if I hear one more time a woman says, "I'm the mama and the daddy," you may be the mama and the daddy, but you're certainly not the father. You can't be a daddy either, but you are a what we call a what do we call it? We call it a surrogate, a stand-in for the time being. So again, Josh Moon, great article. I got no problem with the article whatsoever, but stop lying on us. Okay, Josh, stop lying on us. Okay, we the government's not responsible for raising your children. The government doesn't have to put out a all these stupid programs, because here's the problem with programs. And you just make, and all of this in this big soliloquy you just come up with, here's what you have said. Here's what you have said. What you have said is, well, man, when the government leaves, everything goes to pot. That's right. Because we depended on them. Okay. That's what you said. Hey, who's this?
This is Don L.
Yes.
You know the difference between idealistic and realistic?
Of course I know the difference.
Josh Moon puts out an idealistic affair. But you know what you'd have to open up a gym around these thugs? You'd have to have police at every corner of the gym floor. How would you run that? I mean, there's not enough money to cover these things. They're out of. Here's the problem in Montgomery. We no longer enforce any law. There's no punishment or downside for any of these kids to break the law. They speed up down the road. That's the reason the mayor does that. We only got 2 traffic stops to write tickets. We don't want to have social injustice. We don't want blacks showing up to traffic. And so, blacks in school, what do you do when they misbehave? They don't even go to school now. What are we doing for truant? You've got, there's a theory called broken windows. If you don't deal with a small problem and try to just deal with one specific problem, you'll never get it done. It's like the fair right now. I think the fair is probably losing money because people are afraid to go out there because they're going to get shot or killed. I saw a video where this little fat woman was trying to arrest 2 black males. It's a joke. It's all a joke. And Montgomery's going to continue to go down. And you talk about it going down. How about you don't look at all factors? Maybe it started going down when the blacks become the majority. You ever look at those factors?
Yeah. I saw the fair thing. I did see the fair thing, and I saw a little policewoman right there couldn't even handle it.
From the black community,
yeah.
But no one could. Blacks don't seem to want to throw the stone at each other or face it up to the problem. It always goes back to the white man. The white man is causing us problems. They get sick, black fatigue.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna actually try my other number now. Yes, I think I fixed my thing. I believe I have anyway. I don't listen. I don't. There's enough blame to go around for everybody. I think there's enough blame to go around for everybody. I just don't know if there's no quick solution to a problem that has spun the last 20 years. I got here in 1991. And it was a different Montgomery. And I've said on a number of occasions that the personality of Montgomery is changing. We're beginning to look like some of the towns out west and up north. We're beginning to look like that. Okay. Again, Josh made the he answered his own question without even knowing it. Our problem is that you depended on the government. Well, again, like Ronald Reagan said, the worst thing you can do is say, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. Well, I'm sorry, that dog ain't gonna hunt, because when the government decide to take their ball and go home, guess what's left? Nothing but a path of destruction. So you feed them, you give them a place to stay, you give them tutor in the afternoon, you get there, all this stuff. And then when the budget is tight and you can't do it anymore, you have taken the responsibility of parenting away from the parents. And now all of a sudden, because the budgets are tight, well, they're not used to their parents telling them. The parents are used to doing their own thing. Hey, send them down to the community center. The first community center that kids know about is called home. Now, everybody doesn't have a nice home. That's true. There are many of us. But if we took care of the ones who are taking care of their family, okay. The title of the Josh Moon article is Let me see where it's here someplace. Up in, the solution to Montgomery's crime program, and it's in the Alabama Reporter. Listen, he did a good job writing it. He was just and I invited him on today with us on the studio, but obviously he don't really like me sometimes. But again, he he came up. Listen, he showed the problem, and the problem was government. Who supplied us with everything. I mean, it always surprises me that in the summertime the schools are open to feed breakfast. I said, well, then what do the parents actually have to do? I mean, I don't. You ain't got to feed them breakfast. I mean, so now you got one meal a day. You got to feed them. I don't know. And I've always realized that parents raise their own children. I don't want the government raising people's kids. Of course not. And the only time the government needs to step in is when the parents are not doing that. But we did it backwards. In the 90s, and when I got here, people were dependent on the government to do everything. As a matter of fact, the crazier you made your children act in school, you could get a crazy check. And I said, what the hell's a crazy check? Well, a crazy check was the check that you get if your child goes to school and nobody can figure out what the hell's wrong with them. And then, oh Lord have mercy, ADHD. Woo! Everybody got a diagnosis of ADHD. Okay, because that came with a check too. So now you put your kids having had a history of having to take medications, you limit their possibilities to get certain jobs. Okay. So it's the government is not the answer, Josh. The government for years has been the problem. Okay. It has been the problem. I mean, that's just what it is. But however, great article though. Great article. I'm good with that. Great article. Okay, a great article. Totally wrong, but a great article. And again, we're not saying that it's Mayor Reed's fault, it's Todd Strange's fault, it's Bobby Bright's fault, or even Emory Farmer. But we are saying that they are accountable to us for the environment and by which we live in. And one of the problems we have, and I'm still trying to figure this out, why can't we get people who want to be policemen in the city of Montgomery? Why can't we? The sheriff has got 150 people out, from what I understand, waiting for an opening. So there's something wrong here. There's something. Why can't we get those same people that come work in the city? Is there an underlying reason here? But these same people like my son, my son is in the military. I've been trying to get him to go to the sheriff department. I'll talk to him about the city police department because I knew the sheriff department would pay all your education. And he wants to go to college, and so they'll pay for your education. Will the city do that? I don't even know if the city will do that. But so there are all types of there's a lot of questions we have, but very few answers. Again, why is there such a problem getting police to come to Montgomery? People, are we the only city in Alabama that have this shortage of policemen? Or is it a nation? And if it's a nationwide thing, I understood why it was a nationwide thing with Biden in office. But you would think that with Trump in office, who's I think pro police, that we wouldn't have this problem still. So I don't know what the percentage across the nation is for policemen that cities that are lacking, and the percentage of policemen that are missing. But Alabama, it's really amazing to me because the South has always been a place where people would volunteer for noble jobs. You know, firefighters, policemen, sheriff. It's always been a good place where you could find good people down here that are willing to protect their brother and their neighbors. So what happened? I mean, really, what happened? Has it been political correctness, which has been part of it? I do know there's a policeman who was fired at Montgomery police because he cussed out somebody, a perp, not one of his peers, but he cussed, and the guy get written up for cussing out somebody. Who cares? We listen to that junk in our cars and on TV and everything else. I mean, what? Who cares? If he wasn't doing something bad, he wouldn't get cussed out. Okay, listen. Somebody said structured. What do they say? Structured program left a plethora of football teams and leagues have filled the void. They have, and we still got some. We still got some kids. I couldn't get my kid to play football, but he wanted to play. His mama got him in soccer. She told me it was football till I got to the field and where he was playing, and I said that ain't football. Well, in Jamaica they call it football. So I said, I'm thinking I'm going down to see some touchdowns. All I'm seeing is some people running down the thing trying to kick each other. I can't handle. I cannot handle. But he played. Now give his mama credit because I wasn't too hot on it, and but he played, so he got a little interaction with other kids and other people, and I think he did a pretty decent job of that. But but listen, I've always known that parents are responsible for raising their own kids. Okay, of course. Okay, and what if both parents are not on the same accord? Then what? Now now it's 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 an interesting. Me and Marcy don't see the same thing when it comes to Z. Now he grown. Now he make his own decision. But you still can work it out. I'm the man's man. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Let's do man stuff. Okay, not just walking down the street kicking a ball. And now I want you to get on the field and hit somebody. That's where I was looking at it. Put them on the ground, make them say ouch. All this kicking the ball, the little white ball going down the field and all that stuff. Yeah, that wasn't my thing. But it worked out because you have to agree to disagree. And now me, I gave in most of the time because I didn't really know what to do with a little boy anyway. I didn't have a clue. So she was right on this one. Okay, she was right on this one. Now she's been wrong on a few things, but I'll just let it slide. Let it slide. So again, the this town is full. Well, when you say orphans, we're not full of orphans because an orphan is somebody who don't have a parent. I mean, who don't have a parent. That parent is gone, or is that what an orphan is? Now, there's a difference between being an orphan and being abandoned. Okay, because some of these kids father live right in the city of Montgomery, or they're out there in Wetumpka, or they're downtown at the jail. I mean, we got so many brothers in jail now. We got family reunions when they go there on Sunday. Okay, so I don't know what the problem is. Yeah, but it is a problem, and Josh Moon said it better than I could today because he showed us. He showed us. Yeah. Come on, man. Greg, you're hard on the brother, man. I'm trying to read the article and at the same time maintain my consistency of excellence at the same time. Well, I have my attention diverted to do two different things at one time. So give a brother a break, okay? Okay. This is the fourth, third. Listen, I'm getting it together, okay? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Matter of fact, call me now. Let me see if it'll work. Big C, call me. I think I changed something here that would help us out here. Okay, I think I did. So just call it, brother. I think I got it right. I'm going. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get another. I'm going to get another. Another. I'm going to get another mixer today. I think it's my mixer. Victory has many fathers, but defeat is an orphan. Always has been that way, my friend. Victory has many fathers, but defeat is an orphan. I'm lost of that one. My brain normally works pretty good, but I don't really know what that means. Victory has many fathers, but defeat is an orphan. Somebody explain that to me, because my mind ain't working right. Okay, I don't. What does that mean? Okay, and then this guy said, "Do the Republicans know what discipline means?" Sure they do. It's not. Listen, it's not the quote unquote Republicans that you call that don't know what discipline is. It's Democrats who don't know what discipline is. I mean, it's them who don't really like it. You know, Mr. Spock came out with something years ago. You're okay, I'm okay. Well, there is nothing. That's why the good book says spare the rod, spoil the child. It didn't say abuse the child, though. Okay, into that abusing thing. It didn't say abuse the child, but it did say spare the rod, spoil the child. There's a rod of correction. It is the libs in this country that won't let you spank your child. Now, I ain't talking about these mamas I see at the store sometime talking to their child like he's some kind of animal, because I've been wanting to go knock them out. You know, I mean, I know you've seen it. I mean, you know, you get your child in public and you yank him around his arm and I'm gonna beat your. I mean, come on, you know that's abuse. Yeah, that is verbal abuse. But you can spank him on the leg, smack him on the leg, whatever it is you have to do, and you know, and that'd be all right, or leg, or hand, or something like that. But you don't. Now I've only smacked Emmanuel once, and I smacked Zarel once, only once in their whole life, once. But I got their attention. Okay, I can't hit either one of them now because I end up with a butt whooping, and I'm going to leave that alone. But I can't. They're both stronger than I am now and taller, so I can't be beating on them now. But I took care of it when they were little. So hopefully hopefully they will. If they see somebody beating on me, they come help. I hope they will anyway. So if let's say if blaming the mayor, trying to hold him accountable through the Democrats don't know what that means. Well, the word accountability, yeah, again, you're responsible. You know, it's like my son goes to the store and steals a candy bar. Well, I didn't steal the candy bar, but I think the store owner has a right to come to me and say, Elkins, your child in here stealing my candy. You know, what you gonna do about it? I hear you. Well, first of all, I'm gonna pay for that candy bar, and then secondly, I'm gonna wear his little butt out for stealing the candy bar. And so the next time he go in there, and here's the difference: that store owner won't say you can't come in here anymore because they know that I have taken care of the problem, at least for the most part. Now that don't mean your child will be perfect, and he may at some point steal another candy bar, and then I'll again I'll open up a can of whoop butt on that bootay. But I've only had to do it one time in my life. They wasn't stealing nothing though. I only had to smack my kids once in their whole life. Okay, just once, because they know I was a paratrooper and all. They know I'd hurt them really bad. So they know I always respect the people. Okay, always respect the people. Okay, don't forget. Yesterday was the last day for Windows 10 on your computer to be supported. So you might want to call these guys and give them, because you can buy a piece of software for your computer with Windows 10 on it, and it'll last you for a little while. But yesterday was the last day for support for Windows 10. So you are going to find out in the coming near future that you won't be able to do business at your bank with your computer unless you got at least Windows 11 on it. Okay. So you might want to get that thing done. I mean, that's what I do on the side. Well, it ain't on the side. That's what I do. I work on computers and things. But you can call these guys because they open at 9:00. 277-6902. That's Montgomery Computer Services, and ask for Krista or whoever answers the phone, and they can help you out with your issues. But some of these old computers that you people have, I remember I'm telling you, you're going to have to get rid of them. You may can wait to Christmas to do whatever the case may be. See somebody going to help you out, but you're going to have to get rid of some of that stuff anyway. All right, now somebody give me a check on my phone. See if I got it fixed now. Not this, not that. No, this one right here. Okay, let me see if I got it. If we got it fixed now, that's all I want to do. I have it fixed now. I'm gonna get it. I mean, just work with a brother. Work with a brother. I'm going. I'm gonna get it done. Or you can text me. Any text is on the phone here. Let me see. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, there. Thank you, Dr. Joe, because you always call and let me know. Okay. Now I hear you, Dr. Joe. Do you hear me? Uh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Don't hang up the phone. Okay. Okay. So Dr. Joe is there. Okay, let me see if we are here. Hold on, Dr. Joe. Okay, are you there? Okay, it's not there. Okay, man, I tell you, this has been a tough week for me. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me see. All right, Dr. Joe, are you there? Dr. Joe. Okay, hold on a second. All right, let me see if I can get this one right then. Don't you know I would if I could? Okay. All right. Are you there, Dr. Joe? Okay, so I hear you there now. Oh wow. Really? Oh. Well, well, okay. So let me man, I just cannot I must got a problem with my mixer then. Okay then. Okay, so there we go right there. Okay. Well, hey, what can I tell you? Anyway, well maybe I don't know. I got to okay. Well, that helps me out. Okay, now let me go here for a second. See if you can hear yourself. See if you can hear yourself this time. Okay, let's see. Let me see here now. Okay, how about now? Can you say something? Can you hear yourself? I hear you. Yeah, you don't hear yourself. Okay, so let's go. Whew, this is hard. All right, try it now. No, you don't hear yourself. All right then. Well, I don't know, but I've been told. All right, I'm still here. Did you hear yourself? Okay, so let me. Okay, well, say something again. You know, I hear you, but you don't hear yourself. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, this is what I need to do. Okay, now say something now. Can I hear you? Can you hear you? There's a setting here someplace that I am missing, um, and I don't know what it is actually. To tell you the truth, well, life is hard, and then it's over. Yes, I can't figure. Yeah, right, right. He said there's segregated schools and magnet schools. That's what he says. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I read some of it, and it was just it just the same problem that he was talking about is a problem that has been caused by government, and that's why our kids are doing the things they're doing because there are no repercussions because government's going to step in and stop you from doing your due diligence to make sure they don't do it again. Yeah. Mhm. You can't pay high school coaches. Hmm. Yeah. Wow. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Appreciate it. I'm gonna still continue to work on my phone thing here until I get these numbers back to where they supposed to go, I guess. So I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. Well, I'm trying. Anyway, good morning. How's everybody doing? Also, nobody wants to give although I just one more thing. Jackson Hospital evidently has got the judge approved the funding to keep Jackson Hospital open. That's a good thing because we were really scared about that. Don't want to talk about that. Evidently, there was a big to do about that. A federal judge has approved additional funding to help keep Jackson Hospital doors open for now. According to the news on WSFA's website, Jackson Hospital's financial future remained uncertain yesterday as representatives appeared in federal bankruptcy court in downtown Montgomery. The bankruptcy court needed to approve funding for the struggling facility. I wonder why is that? Anyway, however, creditors willing to provide that funding uh, have been, shall we say, demanding more authority over the hospital's operations, a proposal that would draw opposition from the hospital's bond holders. The decision to approve the funding was reached following a testimony in the hospital would not be able to remain open through the end of October without additional funding. So, I thought the city was going to, loan them some money or whatever. I mean, we loan money to everybody else. I mean, how much money we put on that Ferris wheel? I don't know, but it probably nothing compared to compared to what a hospital needs. A chief restructuring officer testified Tuesday that some hospital employees are leaving because of the threat of closure, adding to the facility's operational challenges. No specific details were immediately available. An investment banker told the court that Jackson Hospital needs $50 million in aid from the city, county, and state governments to move forward. However, later in the hearing, the lender clarified that it requires $100 million in government aid, which the addition hospital funding would be contingent upon. Um, I can't figure out. So I thought all this Obamacare and all this stuff, and get Medicaid. I wonder if we take the Medicaid. Well, I mean, it may be too late to take the thing now. It may be too late to get it. But if it would that have helped? Okay, would that have helped? Okay. Oh, shit, everyone was standing up for a winner. No one stands up for failure. Is that what that means? What Willie put out there? Is that what that means? Okay, if you say so. Okay, I guess I don't know what that means. I'm lost. Say happy birthday. Oh, today is the governor's birthday. Well, congratulations. See, I'm not going to disrespect you by saying Meemaw because I think that's kind of disrespectful. But she is the governor of the state of Alabama, and the good book says, "Give honor to whom honor is due." And these people in these positions are to be honored because they're in that position, not because they're some saint or anything like that, but because they do hold a position of authority in our in our in our world. Okay, so that's what's going on. Well, listen, Josh, thank you for helping me out today because your show was a thing. Okay, now, well, so somebody call me back, see if I can hear everybody. Okay, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I'll make you guys a promise. If it is humanly possible, I will make sure that this is fixed tomorrow. Okay, if I gotta stay up all night long, I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm just telling. I'm gonna take care of it because I'm tired of it too. Actually, I need to hear what y'all got to say. This all started out so well. I don't know what happened this week. Man, it's tough. but I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna take care of it. So y'all hate to lose my audience because they can't hear, because they don't really need to hear me. I everybody knows what I think. My thinking don't change. Um, but you guys, y'all will be all right. I'm gonna, but I'm gonna stay. I'm going to get me another. I'm going to get me another mixer today. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Because I tell you what, this is getting on my nerve. Um, I got too many buttons on this thing anyway. I mean, all these buttons on this mixer. I don't even know what they do. Most of them. Matter of fact, I only know what 3 of them do. Okay, I need to learn it, but I'm going to work on it tonight. We're gonna get it going. I promise we are. Anyway, what else is going on? What else did I have in the news today? Well, let me see now. Let me see what else is going on today. So Jackson Hospital hopefully will stay open a little longer. Yesterday I told you, remember, I did not know that Miss Alberta King, Martin Luther King's mother, was killed by a black man, shot in church on June the 30th of 1974 in Atlanta. I did not know that until 3 days ago. By a young man named Marcus Wayne Chennault. He killed his mother, and he killed another man named Edward Boykin. I did not know that. So I guess we got some crazy people going around shooting people too, besides the ones that were downtown the other day. Okay. Wow. Another man. And there was a man that was killed in Montgomery recently, right? Over the weekend. He was hit in the throat and sexually assaulted by another man. Really? I mean, what's that all about? So you're going to hurt somebody, and as a man, sexually assault another man. I guarantee if he votes Democrat. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. I mean, what's up with that? Really? Man. Of course, we got one in North College Hill. This Ohio 29-year-old man is accused of raping a disabled woman at a nursing home. But that's in North College Hill, Ohio. We're gonna leave that one alone. Here's one. Now this guy right here, this is out of Huntsville, Alabama. Now this guy right here is one of the reasons why people don't trust the church. A former Huntsville lead pastor is facing federal wire and tax fraud charges. Adrian Davis, the former lead pastor of All Nations Worship Assembly, whatever that means, is facing charges of wire fraud and filing a false tax return. According to the court records, Davis served as a marketing consultant for ANWA and received a salary and patronage for his services. However, Taylor Davis accused of using the funds on cars, entertainment, and other personal expenses. Authorities said that although the ANWA authorized Davis to receive a salary and a parsonage, he was not authorized to use the funds for personal expenses. The record states that Davis uses funds to buy vehicles in 2018 and 2019, including a 2016 GMC Yukon for about $45,000. Okay, while spending more than $35,000 on miscellaneous entertainment and retail items. Not approved. Davis also is accused of using more than $24,000 to pay for a mortgage on a home for his mother and using funds to pay off personal credit cards. Okay, then. Well, those things happen. So I can't blame the church for all of that. I mean, people will do bad things. Okay, people do bad things. I don't know what the student of the week is this week because they didn't put anybody done. They didn't put anybody on the thing today. Okay. Now here's something that had me concerned the other day. Why are we putting a Air Force base for Qatar? And it is said to be one of the largest funders of terrorism. At least that's what the papers say. Why are we putting? Are we really gonna? If the president really, there must be more to this story than we know about. We're gonna put an Islamic. I don't know. This is on Mark Levin's show. As a matter of fact, Qatar is the world, according to him. Qatar is the world's largest fund of terrorism, Islamism in education, anti-Americanism, front groups, and they will have an Air Force base in America. Of course, now we got Air Force bases all over the world, but we. I do not understand that. Why would we need an Air Force base of people who potentially we may end up fighting? I don't know. Anyway, there's 16 people were confirmed dead at a blast in Tennessee explosives factory. They don't have everybody yet, but there were no survivors in that thing. Blasted level an explosives plant in southwest of Nashville, Tennessee, was felt for miles around. And I guess we're going to figure out what happens there. I guess we're going to figure out what happens there. Also in Mississippi, in the last few days, at a homeschool, well, not like a homecoming celebration, it turned deadly as 8 people are killed in separate shootings. So the problem is not just here in Montgomery, Alabama. The problem is across this nation. There's a culture that has invaded us that I'm just trying to tell you. And then I found out yesterday talking to somebody in Mississippi, hell, they get to walk around with guns too. I mean, is that a Southern thing? Is that a Southern kind of thing that we don't feel like we a man unless we walk around with a gun in one hand and the other gun in another hand? I mean, what's up with this? High school homecoming celebration in Mississippi ended in gunfire with 2 separate shootings on opposite sides of the state, leaving at least 8 people dead and more injured. 6 were killed in downtown Leland, Mississippi, the other night after a high school football homecoming game in Mississippi Delta region of the state's western edge. According to the county coroner, on the east side of the state, a pregnant woman was among the dead. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves said, so what's going on with our country? Really, what's going on? And we want we want people to walk around here with guns like this. This is what we want to do. And so, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when somebody takes one of these guns that they're walking down the street with and blows up something or shoots a whole bunch of people going down the street in the car? What's going to happen? Okay, because it will happen. Just as crazy as people get, it will happen. Okay, so I don't know what we're trying to prove, but okay, I don't get it. Okay, I just don't get it. In America, there are more than 200 people are shot in America every day, and about 125 people killed daily as a national mean. And we want to let fools around here walk around with guns. Okay, we want to let people walk around with guns. Did you hear what I told you? 200 people are shot and wounded each day in this country, and about 125 people are killed by guns daily as a national mean. Okay, this year continues to experience a high but declining number of shooting deaths compared to prior years, with 11,197 shooting deaths recorded through September 30th this year. Did you hear what I'm telling? 11,197 shooting deaths recorded so far from January to September the 30th. That's a 14% decrease over the same time last year. So it has been worse. Did you hear what I'm telling you, though? And we want people to walk around here with guns. Okay? Overall, yearly gun violence includes approximately 117,000 people being shot annually, and including about 42,000 deaths, which distributes roughly to about 320 people shot daily on an average, and considering both fatal and non-fatal incidents. Okay, do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, and we still are fighting. I mean, really, we still are fighting people to want to be able to carry a gun around town. Okay, more than 200 people are shot and wounded each day in the United States, with about 125 people are killed by guns daily. Okay, the recent data, let me tell you what, the recent data shows that in 2025, that's this year, continue to experience high, but it's declining just a little bit, shooting death compared to the prior years, with 11,197 shooting deaths recorded through September the 30th. And we got, and it's more than that now. It's more than that now. Overall, the yearly gun violence includes 117,000 people shot annually, including 42,000 deaths. That's more, and it was terrible too, but that's more, I think, than in 20 years of war that we did. I think we lost about 10,000 young men and women doing that job. So are we telling me that it's more dangerous to walk the streets of America than it is Afghanistan? Okay. Is that what is that, do we really mean to say that? Yo,
Kevin. Question for you. Talk about Jackson Hospital.
yeah.
Did you by any chance, mind if I'm going to give a plug for an FM station around here, but there is a radio station at 9 a.m. statewide broadcast. 90,
I can't, are you on a speaker?
I'm sorry?
You're not on a speakerphone, are you?
No.
Okay.
You are, though.
Okay, because I couldn't hear what you said, something about a radio station.
Is that better?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay. They had a physician from Jackson Hospital. He was there for 35 years. And he went into great detail about what had happened at Jackson Hospital. I'm going to take a few minutes to explain what it was. Under Obamacare, the government tried to go to centralized hospitals. And one, Jackson Hospital was called, as well as hundreds of hospitals across the nation, was go deeply into debt and get as many private physicians to come work for your hospital as employees of the hospital. The goal was to eliminate all private physicians. By doing this, at that point, there's no more physicians, and then you have centralized hospitals, centralized bureaucracy, and then under the AHS, they could greatly dictate what's going on with health. And what Jackson Hospital did, according to this physician's own words, they went out and paid 200% and 300% more for a physician doing the exact same job that a private physician could do. He went so far as to say, if you were not a private hospital, private physician, an employee of Jackson Hospital would not even refer you to a private physician for whatever the case may be. And so Jackson Hospital, under the dictation of the government, they went greatly into debt. And that's why Jackson Hospital is in the debt that they are now. And you were talking about, originally, think about this. Originally, a month ago, when Jackson Hospital first declared bankrupt, they were saying it was about $5 million a month that the expenses, the cash flow that they needed. They only had about $3 billion in the bank, but they needed $5 million. Now it went $20 million. Then it went $50 million. And now it's $100 million. And one of the things, and go back to the past month or 6 weeks, had a city council member saying, okay, yes, we need to keep the hospital open, but we need to protect the taxpayers. And so what we need to do Montgomery needs to be paid her back $20 million. It's going to flow to this equity firm before the bondholders get paid. And they're balking.
Yeah.
Private bondholders want to say, no, we get our money. So even if the hospital goes belly up, then the citizens of Montgomery pay us.
Well, it sounds like to me, and again, just not being an aficionado in the hospital world, that the hospital needs to be sold to somebody else. That would seem like to me the hospital needs to be sold.
When I worked at Jackson Hospital as a vendor during the year around 2000, probably. And I talked to the CEO then, Don Ball. And Don Ball was a very smart man. He used to tell me, you know what? The patients are not my customers. The physicians are my customers. If I don't have physicians, we don't have a hospital. Have physicians, we don't have patients. And that has been the challenge at Jackson Hospital well before 2000.
Yeah.
And so if you have a private equity firm right now, it's no different than stock market. They want the city, county, and state to have $100 million. So that way, even if the hospital goes belly up, which it does not need to do, you need Jackson Hospital. But it was this private equity firm that put up the money.
Yeah.
Initially.
Well, I thought is Jackson Hospital a nonprofit organization?
What?
Or is it for profit?
Nonprofit just means they just don't pay dividends.
Right. Yeah, I know that, but it seemed like to me,
it's held by a private equity firm.
Right. So it's a for-profit thing. So okay, man. Hey, anyway, I gotta run, man, because I can't hardly hear you too good. But we are going to go. Okay, so I got to spend the whole day working on this. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I got to fix this problem until tomorrow. All right. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay. Because it has been a interesting moment. But I have to take a 5 minute. Wait, cut me in a break here. So we'll be right back. Okay, I promise you, we'll be right back. So don't go anyplace. So hang loose.
In the quiet of the morning light, hands raised high in pure delight, thankful whispers in a gentle breeze, grateful heart with such sweet ease. Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take, for the love that heals and the joy you make in the tapestry of life. I see your grace.
Okay, had to pause for the call for a second here. Anyway, my time's up anyway. The time's about ready to go anyway. Let's see, who's that left a note up there for you? Okay, parenting. Okay, we got that covered. Stay on until 10:30 or 11. It's called overtime. Yeah, I know it is. If my phones were working the way I wanted them to work, I would. But I'm not. Listen, I'm going to fix this problem today. I'm going to fix it. I'm gonna have to go to someplace else and see if I can get me a different. See, that's my. I'm going to spend my lunch money because I don't have much money left. I just I gotta go get it. Or I gotta get a real job at some point. But I'm gonna get me a new mixer because I think it's the mixer. So I think that's what it is. Okay, because I got everything set up, and this is. I mean, that thing was working so perfectly. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be working that good. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I'll have something working tomorrow. And the thing, my other number, that doesn't sound too good. You can't really hear what you need to hear. Okay, you can't really hear. So Right, you can hear Bud, but that was coming through that was coming through that other number that you got to put a microphone down there to even hear the guy. And it's not the professional way of doing it. So I'm going to get my thing fixed. And if I got to stay here all day long, I mean, now if I call some of y'all, y'all need to, y'all need to answer the phone because I'm going to need somebody to verify that it's all working. Okay, so y'all have a great day because I got to go. And I'm leaving here and I'm going out to the technological store and get something to fix this problem. Okay. Because, hey, I got to start selling advertising if I'm going to do this to make some money. And they don't want to hear no stuff, but I couldn't hear nobody. So I got to get out there and hit it, brother. I got to get out there. Who just says that's why we have limits on authority signing of CEOs. Okay. I hear you. All right. What's that? That's the reason your reading is fundamental. Yeah, you guys are hard on the brother out there. I'm telling you, I be trying my best sometimes. I was sleeping last night trying to think of how to fix this problem. I thought I had it taken care of yesterday, but hey, I didn't. Okay, but I'm getting this. Okay, tomorrow's Thursday. Okay, that's my last day of the week. But next, it won't. This won't happen next week. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it, but it will not happen. Okay, it will not happen because I can. That's the funny thing about it. I can call people on my line here, and I believe that you'll be able to hear the call, but we just can't hear the phone. I'm gonna have to figure that out as we go along. Anyway, y'all have a good day, and I know there's somebody laughing at me again up there. Hey, William. Hey, Willie. William Green. Uh, Mr. Alexander, appreciate you. Butch, appreciate you. Let me get my stuff sick. Then I want y'all to invite some more people to the show so you can educate me more. Okay, it's like a free education you get here. Anyway, have a great afternoon. And today, the whole day will be centered around fixing this phone thing. I'm working on it. Okay, I'm pretty good at fixing computers, but I'm not really good at mixers and stuff like that. So, yeah. And don't forget, you need to call that number I put on the screen, Montgomery Computer Service, or you can call me 241-9998. But you need to fix your computer because it is going to go wacko. You can still use it, but there'll be places you will not be able to go to on the internet unless you upgrade to Windows 11. Okay, I'm just telling you that just the way it is. And if you got an old computer, Windows 11 won't work on it. So you're gonna have to. If you've had a computer for over 6, 7, 8 years, yeah, it's time for a new one. There's a new protocol now. It's called TMP or TPM, and the old motherboard stuff didn't have that stuff. Don't have that stuff on it. So y'all might want to think about really think about ready. It's time to get a new computer. And if you get a new computer, Windows 11 is going to come on it anyway. So that saves you $100 right there. All right. But if your computer is 7 years old and older, well, I'd say 5 years. If it's 5 years old or older, you may have to end up buying another computer in order to use it on certain sites on the internet because you don't have the security protocol that's attached to your motherboard. Okay, so and I'll get the Real Pro on here tomorrow. I don't know much about the software issue of it, but I'll get see if I can get Stuart on tomorrow and can tell you exactly what's going on and why you won't be able to use your computer or your Windows 10 anymore. So we'll get somebody on tomorrow that can answer those questions for you. I can answer a couple of them, but not very much. I'm more of a repairman. I cannot stand networks and all that stuff. It just takes too long to do it. My son's telling me last night that he's doing networking right now. Okay. Take that pipe smoking hat off. Man, I don't have no chain on the door. That ain't no chain, man. That's my keys hanging on the door. That way I know where they are. I don't have a chain on the door. That's my keys. Because I always forget where my keys are. So I made myself a habit to put my keys in one place all the time. No other place but that one place on the door. And actually, if I start heading out the door without the keys, well, when I grab the knob, then I remember that the keys are on the door. Okay. So that's why that's not a change. That's my keys. All right. It's time to go. See you guys later. And like I always say at the end of every show,
Every moment filled
it is not the falling down that makes you strong. It is getting up every time you do. Okay? So my word of the day is keep getting up. Falling down, well, it's the getting up that gives you the strength. You want to get stronger? Keep getting up. And don't forget my email there, Logic, that's LOJIC 2025 @gmail.com. I forgot a 5 on that. Anyway, have a great day.